Yeah, so John, I've just kind of been, playing this new video game. It's like really freaking awesome.
Oh.
And I just kind of wanted to like show you a quick clip of the game just to show you how like cool the graphics are, you know?
Oh, yeah, I mean, you know me, I love graphics, I love animation. Let me let me take a gander.
Oh yeah, here it is, baby.
Oh. Uh, oh my god. It's advanced Christmas. I lo
well,
That's I've had
oh
that stuck in
god.
my head all afternoon, Burger.
Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first
I like
Screened
how that's
In
the intro.
podcast. Yes, that's it. Uh, welcome to the very first Screened In podcast episode that is coming to you live on your actual screens.
Yeah.
Here at Screened In Podcast, we watch anything that is on a screen. That means TV, video games, movies, anime, you name it. If it's on a screen, we're probably talking about it. My
And
name
now
is Mike
us.
Berger. That's right. And now, I mean, that seems like a long time coming. My name is Mike Berger, and I am joined by my esteemed, well lit co host, John Artiglaire. Welcome, John.
Hello, I think well lit is a little bit, generous, Burger. Uh, it really makes me, I've always seen these streamers with their purple rooms and all this stuff, and boy, I now have an appreciation of just how rough that is to get to look right. And, yeah, but I'm happy to be doing video finally. I mean, we've talked about it. We've probably mentioned it on the podcast, but I feel like we've talked about it just each other a lot about making it a video podcast, and yeah, excited to finally do it.
We've got the technology, as they say. So yeah, here we are in our homes.
Yeah.
This is where me and John live. We usually are probably recording looking like absolute trolls.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know about you, John, but I did a little hair
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sweeping
I d
before.
there's some hair product in here,
That's
but,
right. That's right.
yeah, I usually do this looking like a mess, just kinda that's like anytime you would bring up video and I would just be like, "Let's not do that this time, Burger." Like, as I sit here looking terrible with just a pile of junk behind me that I'm like, "Well, let me figure that out first."
Oh, I've got all of Burger Games junk is back here. There's a Cubone sleeping on my couch on the blue
Oh,
couch.
a
This is the
lot.
famous blue couch,
Ooh, there it
ladies
is,
and
finally.
gentlemen. That's
OG fans will know.
full of video game, trash. No,
I see you have a nice
um,
typewriter over there.
that's
Very
right.
nice.
Brand new.
Brand new.
Got it for free.
Ooh la
Um,
la.
so we're doing things, making moves. But today on this particular episode, John and I watched two separate things. So
Yeah,
it's a little bit of a show and tell episode, everybody.
and they're very different, I would assume.
Oh, it's like we can't even like it's and it's not like a parallel difference. Like
No.
it's not like a one where I was like trying to see how figure out how to like spin this. It's gonna feel I feel like the 180 turn that we're gonna make halfway through is gonna feel odd to some
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, we definitely didn't go like, "Oh, yeah, those 2 fit together. We'll put them in one episode."
Ah, peanut butter and chocolate,
Yeah, it
that's
was,
perfect.
weird that you didn't go jelly, but alright.
Chocolate's better than jelly. Come on.
But well, this is our first and last video podcast, everyone, I gotta go.
Well, John quit.
Uh, I was gonna say, which one should we get into first? I mean, we haven't said what we're even doing. We'll leave it mystery.
I feel like that yours is a little bit more of a grand opening. When
Okay.
I open my phone, when I look at social media, I see the particular movie that you're going to talk about, but we'll leave it
Yeah.
a mystery. Let's leave it a mystery for
Ooh.
those. You'll have to listen to my ridiculousness to get to
It's
John's
a
excellence.
grand opening that's gonna be our grand finale here.
That's right. That's
But
absolutely. So I in particular I watched the new Pokemon series.
Uh-huh.
Pokemon Horizons.
Pokemon. They changed the name.
Pokemon Horizons.
Okay. I
Um,
I don't think I know anything about this show, Burger. I might have seen one image online. So,
the thing that's a big deal about this particular show, there's two things that make it a big deal. One is they move away from Ash Ketchum, right?
okay.
The series decides
I
to
mean,
create a brand new story without him, and he's been a part of a lot of the anime series for a long time now.
say at this point he's like
So
45 years old.
yeah, and I think it was a the way I feel about it is that, personally, it feels like the right move.
Okay.
This feels new, it feels nice, it feels shiny, it's quite good, and for those of you who played Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the fact that I said, it feels shiny s
Wow, I got that. I picked
yeah.
up on that now.
So, um, it's got its own main characters, and I think the animation looks great. I think if you pull it up, John, I think you'll probably
I was
have
just looking at
some
it's
things to say.
Pokemon Horizons.
Yeah, Pokemon Horizons, the series. It's got 2 main characters in it that are like a young boy and a young girl, and I think that the character Sprigatito,
Ooh,
the
Sprigatito.
the Pokemon Sprigatito
Oh, I thought
is
that was one of the main character children.
no, 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 no. The Pokemon Sprigatito, which I'll pull up here for a little preview of what this Pokemon looks like.
I
And
like Fuecoco.
this is Fuecoco, who's the fire crocodile
Yeah.
who likes to sing in the series.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so I think that those are gonna sell like hotcakes even more now if they haven't already, in terms of plushies and kind of I think I'll see a lot of Sprigatito,
Yeah.
fans on Instagram as they
They look
pop up.
like plushies, like you said. They look like something I would see in the store ready to sell.
There's like I always felt like the starters in Pokemon, the very first evolution of the starters is usually like,
Mhm.
some of the best, like, artistic design to it because and they've said this before when they're thinking about, like, Pokemon development and, um, they want a lot of their Pokemon to be easily drawn. They want people to be able
Oh.
to easily draw their Pokemon, and I think that's a genius idea, like, they say that out loud, like, it has to be easy to draw, like, and I think that's awesome, because then you got, like, a 10-year-old writing in their notebook, and they're doing a little sketch of Sprigatito or Fuecoco, and
I was gonna say
think that's
Fuecoco's design is really simple, and I
yeah,
really like that. So that and, like, I know it makes sense, like you said, it's easy to draw. What is it? Fuecoco looks like it's very easy to draw, but I like that about him. He's not some crazy thing. He's kinda just like these round corners with a big old mouth.
yeah, yeah. And Liko and Roy are main characters here in this particular, series. Um, got some images of them here.
Ooh la la.
Um, so Liko and Roy, Liko being kind of shy a little bit, like not very assertive, and kind of her character arc is that she learns to be more assertive. Um, Roy's, uh, I don't know how to even characterize
It
Roy. He's like
it
adventurous and maybe I don't know. Roy's
he
less
wears a cool
interesting to
hat.
me than Liko. Yeah, he wears a cool hat, I guess. He comes in halfway through the series. His whole thing is like he lives isolated on this island, and I think he's like striving to adventure and doesn't really think it's gonna happen for him. And then
Okay.
his grandpa like lets him go. Um, the the story to this is multifaceted. So there's like some evil guys that's chasing Liko because of a pendant that she has. Um, And then Roy has, like, an ancient Pokeball that looks like something from Pokemon Arceus, uh, the video game. So it's like this very old looking, Pokeball,
Okay.
and I won't say what's in it because that will ruin the first, season, but
Oh,
toward the end of the first season, we find out what kind of Pokemon is in that ancient Pokeball, and we kind of find out a little bit about her pendant as well, but there's some, evil guys that are chasing her, and she essentially gets found by this group of people that I wish I could Google because they're you might even have to give me a second.
oh
I
boy.
wanna put get a picture of them, but
Is it
they're
like the new
group
Team Rocket?
they're no, it's like the new good guys,
Oh,
and
the new good guys. Okay.
yeah, um, the problem is that their
I
their
cannot.
new name is ridiculous. So
Okay.
I'm gonna see if I can find them, um, here. Oh, I found Captain Pikachu, who's
Captain
part of this
Pikachu?
Captain Pikachu's part of this gang. But I'd love a photo of all of them, but I really like Captain Pikachu.
He's exactly what I thought.
Yes,
He's
Captain
Pikachu the captain,
Pikachu.
right?
He flies the airship that they're all on, so that's pretty neat. But yeah, I'm not gonna be able to find the name of this group because they're like it's some long drawn out name that does makes no sense to me. Um, but they save Liko, and one of the leaders is this cool guy with a Charizard who
Okay.
is kinda awesome. Um, and I guess he just plays the cool guy. And he is technically a professor, we find out in the first season, but nobody knows that really. Nobody calls him professor or anything.
Okay.
But the airship's really cool, all the Pokemon look really cool, and we go from, like I believe we're in the Kalos region when we start, like, she's at school, and then they have to go to her home, which is in the Paldea region, which is the home of, um, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So that's
Okay.
we start out in the original, area that Ash started out in, and when she's at school, and then eventually we end up to the Paldea region and seeing all these new Pokemon, and I have to say it was, like, pretty entertaining. I didn't mind it at all, and it was a pretty
Glowing review.
it was a pretty good 12 episodes. No, I mean, I didn't stop watching it. I think that
Yeah.
says something, like, because I know this at this point, it's probably not aimed at me,
That was my
although
next question, actually.
yeah,
Is this so now it's years ago, but I tried rewatching the original Pokemon. Like I
so
had it
did I.
on like while I was working or something.
Mhm.
And I didn't last long because I'm like,
No.
wow, this is like a children's show.
Yeah.
Like it's the same formula every episode. There's nothing really to it. I mean, it's a fun story. Is this that kind of show, or is it geared a little bit towards the original Pokemon fans who are a little older now?
I have to say I'll say this, like, so some of the rough edges that made it hard for me to continue to watch the original Pokemon and go back to it and watch it, um, those are, like, definitely sanded. Like,
Okay.
they're no longer rough. So, this feels like, oh my gosh, like, it's obviously feels new. The animation's beautiful, the colors are beautiful, the
Mhm.
world is different. If you played Scarlet and Violet, you're excited to see the new Pokemon in a series, and you're excited to see them, I think, because what the animation or what the anime series for Pokemon gave you when you were a kid was
Mhm.
like, the game is fun, but then when you had the anime, they all you got to see their personalities, right?
Yeah.
You got to see, one that stands out to me is, like, Charmander's really sad story, or, like, how Pikachu was, like, really stubborn, you know?
Mhm.
Like those personalities, I think, are always fun to see because you're just like, "Oh, I wonder how this Pokemon actually acts in,
Yeah.
what does it actually look
Especially 'cause they
like?"
only say one word. So I feel like
Right,
it's neat to get that little bit of, like, emotion out of it.
exactly. So, just like, I mean, Pokemon that maybe weren't even that popular initially, like a Pokemon like Jigglypuff, who really became like a really big star as a from the anime, who like
Mhm.
gets angry all the time and like kind of puffs up and is like seeing that and like in these Pokemon and like, oh, this is cool. Like you know,
Yeah.
um, like Fuecoco's like thing is like he looks up to Charizard and like
Oh, okay.
but he's having a hard time, like, doing the move Ember, like, he can't really spit out fire, but obviously Charizard can, and so, like, he's like a little crocodile fire Pokemon, he's trying to spit out fire and he can't do it, it's adorable, right? Um, Whereas Sprigatito, he kinda has that, like he or she has that, like, stubbornness that, like, Pikachu originally had, and it's not until Liko kinda learns to stick up for herself that Sprigatito really starts to, like, listen to her. So these storylines, like, develop into something, I think it's really cute for little kids, I think they're gonna really like it, and for me, it's, like, good enough as an adult to watch it and not be bored and to be, like, kinda sucked into the story, and if you are a Pokemon fan, make connections that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise. And I think that's where it's hitting for me is that, like,
Okay.
I get to see what happens, like, what is the story between, like, in Paldea that they're gonna show me that I haven't already seen in the game, you know? So I think that's where a lot of this is kind of coming out. But I actually don't have too much else terribly to say about it. But I am curious because I haven't looked yet. Maybe you should ask me and look up the ratings of this
Oh, okay.
show because
Yeah.
I've watched it and you haven't. So maybe I should take a guess as to what these ratings look like.
I also have a couple questions on it.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Number 1, um, is this gonna be a show that's, like is this gearing up to be, like, a 100-episode show?
I think
Like a
it's gonna have staying power. I think. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I think
And
so. I think because the first season was 12 episodes. It did come out in spring of 2023. I don't know if this is like, it feels like I don't know if this is, like, the first English version that's dropped or what this is, but it literally just came to Netflix, and
oh, okay.
it says it's billing itself as a Netflix animated show. So I'm, like, kinda confused by that because I know it came out in 2023, and now it's just dropping on Netflix. So if people wanna watch it, it's there on Netflix, and not all Pokemon series are. It's very strange how Pokemon has it set up. Pokemon has its own, like, thing called Pokemon TV, which
Oh,
is like a
really?
yeah, it's a website you can go watch every single anime, including all the movies there on that website. But then it with anybody else who wants it, it's kind of dispersed in really random ways across different streaming services.
Interesting. And then my only other question is, I think I found my new favorite Pokemon, and I don't know who he is. Who is this duck with, like, the pompadour?
Okay,
Like, you know?
Quaxley. Quaxley look
Quaxley,
to me,
baby.
Quaxley looks like a Pokemon that's gonna grow up to be Conan O'Brien.
Oh, look is it a hat or is it hair?
I think it's hair.
Oh my god, this is great. Oh, yeah, it is hair. Oh, look at this.
So
Quaxly's cool.
that's the starter that I chose for Pokemon Scarlet, actually.
Oh, his evolutions go
They're not great.
no, they're not. He turns into Megamind and then, like, a salsa dancer. Like,
Yeah, the
what?
salsa dancer, yeah, I don't
It
know what
looks
to
like he would grow up
say.
to be like Donald Duck, like, he would take that hat and make it pants, and then but apparently not.
I would love that. No, I really didn't like the starter version of Quaxley was great, and I actually
Wow, yeah.
purposely when I got the game, I didn't wanna see any of the, like, animation. Like, I didn't wanna see any of the concept art, I didn't wanna see any of anything. I wanted to pick it up day 1 and, like, be totally surprised by all of it. Tried to avoid as much spoilers as I can. Obviously that I didn't work so well, but I didn't know that it was gonna become a salsa dancer. If I knew, I would have gone with Fuecoco, I think, because at least he becomes like a
Yeah.
fire crocodile,
Oh,
looks a
yeah, what
little
is
cooler.
Coco Evolution?
It's kinda like a
Let's see
fire
here.
salamander almost, but crocodile, I guess.
Oh,
I don't like the middle evolutions
wait
of
a
any
minute.
of them. The middle evolutions are really weird.
Hold on one second. There Fuecoco, he reminds me of something else, and I'm gonna try to find it really quickly.
Yep.
It's like a kids show. I'm not gonna be able to find it, I don't think. It reminds me of, like, there's, like, a yellow kinda dragon, like, kid show character. And yeah, like, I don't know, he looks kinda wimpy. I don't like the evolutions of either of these guys.
No?
There's a lot of fan evolutions, like, fan
Oh,
concepts,
they're
and they're
better.
all better.
Yeah,
Every
they're all
single one of
better.
them.
Yeah, it was a huge, like, disappointment that I think a lot of people felt. I think they wanted to stick to this idea that they were influenced by because this region's supposed to be Spain,
Mhm.
um, influenced, so I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know if I think you're seeing, like, the sombrero in Crocolore, which is, like, the middle evolution. Um,
Oh, wait, was I looking at the wrong evolution?
it goes Fuecoco, Crocolore, and then Skeledirge.
Oh, okay, so, fun fact, I was looking at the wrong one. I was looking at a fan creation
Oh, okay.
because it was just the first one that popped up, and I'm like, "This looks official."
Yeah.
Oh, Crocolore, and then okay.
Skeledirge looks cool, but kind of
Yeah,
looks weird because I don't know,
I like the final evolution a lot better, I like the official
okay.
one.
All of the middle evolutions suck for the new starters.
What was the other starter, the one that you brought up first? The green one?
Sprigatito.
I'm gonna look this up, Sprigatito.
We'll show
Whoa.
everybody all the Paldea starters.
I'm gonna assume this one's the legit one burger that I'm putting in our chat.
Oh
Please
boy.
tell me you can put images in the chat. Oh, you can't. Um, I'll send you a link.
Okay. These are all the starters and their evolutions right here. Um,
Oh, okay. Sprigatito's cool.
yeah, Sprigatito is pretty neat. With the mask. I think it looks
Yeah.
better. The Coco's is okay. All I think Sprigatito's middle evolution's probably the best of the middle evolutions, I think.
Yeah, I like that one. That one's
Yeah.
cool.
That one's pretty neat. I think it looks, like, really cool as a cat and, like, kinda standing cat. It looks but, one of there's always a conversation about, like, evolutions and, like, uh, 4, you know, are they gonna be, like, 4 legs or are they gonna be 2 legs and 2 arms? And there's a lot of people that are like, "It's only cool when they're, like, four-legged." And there's a lot of people where it's like, "It's only cool if they're two-legged." And there's, like, a
Mhm.
lot of feelings about that, I think. But yeah, the Quaxley evolutions. Quaxley looks great as a starter,
Yep. They
gets
all look
pretty
great as
bad
a
immediately.
starter and then kinda gets worse. But are
Yeah.
you sure it's not the one I put in the chat? I think that's the official one, actually.
Oh, should I pull that up real quick?
Yeah, sure. You can I think that's what they should have went with.
Oh my god, John. The oh, oh boy.
Yeah, I think that's the real artwork, actually.
I think that's it. I love how they kept it really,
The first 2,
the
yeah,
first 2
normal.
is great. Yeah, it looks right, and then boom, level 35.
Like how it's
Just
my prediction of the evolution
so
line.
buff.
Uh,
My
but
god.
do
This
you
one
wanna
looks
guess
pretty
the,
good to me. That one looks sick.
yeah, see, like, how do people come up with that stuff? Both of those look awesome.
This looks awesome.
That's
You don't like that one?
it's a little wonky.
This middle one's freaking me out a little, not gonna lie.
Yeah, but do you wanna try to guess the, reviews of this show?
Sure. Alright, what are we starting with?
Well, do you want to guess out of like a scale of guess a scale of stars and then out of 10, I guess, or just the equivalent?
Oh, okay. Which website am I guessing for?
I'm kind of taking from a bunch because they're not great, like all around. Like there's not a ton.
Oh, okay.
So I'll let you know a few different ones.
All
But if
right.
you want, guess IMDb, I guess.
IMDb goes out of 10, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna say like 6.5.
It's actually higher, surprisingly,
Wow. Okay.
at a 7.7.
Wow.
But
Wow. Interesting.
yeah, but then that's the high bar.
That's
Um,
weird because usually IMDb is the low bar.
yeah.
We've talked about this
IGN,
before famously.
oop,
IMDb is usually
yeah, they're always low.
low.
But IGN gave it a 6 out of 10. And then if you just look at it on Google, I guess like just they just pull Amazon or pull reviews from different places, and it's sitting at a 2.8 star rating out of 5. So
Oh,
seems to kind of be mixed
yeah.
reviews.
Okay.
I mean,
Interesting.
I don't know where I don't know what the 1-star reviews are, but I mean, we sure can see.
Is this on Rotten Tomatoes or no?
I didn't see it on Rotten Tomatoes.
Hmm.
It didn't pop up right away, so it probably just has not a lot.
Check out Metacritic. I wonder if it's on there.
Oh yeah. Metacritic, let's see. Oh, it's on my anime. Oh no. No, doesn't have it.
Interesting. Hmm. I'm just so ahead of everything. Or
Yeah, you're just
I'm the only adult watching these.
yeah, you're the only person that doesn't have to get like parental consent to go on the internet.
Oh, it's rated here on mykidsanime.com.
Yeah. Nick Jr. has a write up on this. Oh
Some
my
some
goodness.
10-year-old wrote a 4-page article.
Oh well, I mean, it sounds like from the little bit I did see with the review, seems like it's left something to be desired, but people are looking forward to like what's coming next. So like you're gonna watch
Yeah.
more that comes out, right?
Yeah, I'll definitely watch more. I'll
Okay.
definitely watch more. I think and if you're like, "Man, Mike's been dragging in a lot of Pokemon into this show," I can safely say that there's actually not a video game coming out in the year 2024 for Pokemon, which is a
Wow.
first. And I think it's been 6 years where they've made a new Pokemon game concurrently. Um, it not obviously not like in the main series, but they've had a new game coming out every single year. Um, and this will be the
Wow.
first where there isn't one unless we get some type of,
That's
like,
crazy. Yeah.
surprise.
I feel
Yeah,
like there's
because
always some sort of Pokemon game coming out.
we are getting Pokemon Arceus, ZA, I think it's called. It I'm very excited for it. Looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the first Pokemon Arceus, so
Mm,
we'll see where it goes from here.
all right. Well, that was Pokemon Horizons. Should we pivot to our next topic?
Hard, hard
Yeah.
cut into the next, media topic here.
Yeah. This one is like the top of a lot of lists right now. It's the hot commodity. So I wanted to talk about it because I didn't know if Berger was going to get around to seeing it, and so we figured we'd work it in this way. But I went yesterday and saw in the theaters Dune Part 2. And yeah, have you seen the first Dune
I watched
or the original Dune?
I watched the first oh, don't say the original Dune. Original Dune's like there was a TV series.
There's a TV. I know there's a
Yeah.
movie from like the
There was
70s
a
or
movie,
80s.
I believe there was a TV series too as well.
Could be.
Yeah, there was. Um, yeah. Oh, baby. This looks so like I can't tell if this is early 90s. I don't know what this is, but I just wanna share this with you. Look at this.
That's the good stuff.
Oh,
That's a Sci-Fi
look at
Channel
that
original if I've
handsome
ever seen
man.
one.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Jeez, the movie, the original movie looks like it's a classic. Like, that's supposed to be, like, terrible.
oh, really?
Like, it was funny, once we got home, there was a YouTube, like, recommendation of, like, this fight scene from that movie,
Hmm?
and I put it on for comparison, and it is hysterical, like, the costume difference and everything.
Oh, well, I can safely I watched the first 45 minutes of the first, movie, and I was getting pretty bored. I probably
Mhm,
wasn't in the right headspace to watch it, but I am a big, big, big fan of the book Dune. So,
okay,
like, there's a book series. The first book is incredible. Anything after that is still, like, written in the voice of Frank Herbert, but then I think his son might have taken over, like, halfway through because I think he died, like,
okay.
while writing these, I'm
Oh,
pretty sure. Um, but the first book was so good. Like, if you're one of those people that you're like, you like Lord of the Rings and you like to, like, go back and, like, w read a literary classic, um, you can't go wrong with the first Dune book.
yeah, I've heard it's, like,
Incredible.
peak science fiction.
Yeah,
Like,
it's amazing.
I think I have the audiobook, and
Oh,
I think I tried listening to it because 'cause I'll, like, passively listen to stuff while working
mhm.
and I think I tried to do that, and I was like, "Absolutely no way, because like, it starts throwing around names,
Yeah,
planets,
it gets, like, deep, I'm
houses, and I'm
sure.
like, "What in the world?" Like, I can't listen to this right now.
It's so involved, I could imagine that would be tough. That's
Yeah.
actually why I wasn't sure, like, anytime someone touch I never thought to myself when I read Dune that I was like, "You know what? Someone needs to turn this into a movie." I never
Mhm.
thought that because I was like, "I don't think this would translate well to a movie."
So, I like, and I guess that's, like, how we'll transition into it, like, you
Mhm.
said you watched the first one and you kinda were getting bored a little bit. I was talking with my dad about Dune too, I told him I went and saw the second one. And he actually said the same exact thing about the first movie. Like
Oh,
he
wow.
said that he's like, I tried watching it like 2 times. Like I gotta try to watch it again. Like, and I actually agree. Like,
Oh.
I remember watching the first movie and thinking it was great. Like I remember watching it and being like, whoa, visually that was so cool. I love it. And then we Kelsey wanted to come with me to the movies to go see part two, so we rewatched part one. I'm very happy I did because I didn't remember, like, anything. Like, I remembered, like, how like, what ha like, happened, like, quote, unquote, like, to where it got to, but I was like, "What in the world?" Like, I don't remember any of this stuff. But watching it this second time, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, like, this whole first movie is set up." Like, it gets good. I shouldn't say it gets good. It gets more actiony near the end of the first one, like, where stuff starts popping off. But it's I mean, it's all set up for the second movie. And so this second movie going into it, like, I had wanted to see it in theaters. I had seen some things online say like this is the first movie in a long time to like where IMAX is worth it. Like this
Oh,
is
wow.
what IMAX is for. Like,
Oh, wow.
and so I was like, okay, like, and like, everything I kept seeing online, people were like, if there's a movie to go see in theaters for like the experience, this is it. So I was like, okay, like I definitely want to go see it in theaters. I had missed out on seeing that Godzilla Zero in
Mhm.
theaters. So I was like, I'm not missing this one. I'm going to see it. So we went and saw it in IMAX. Just IMAX experience. Looks amazing. It's, you know, the huge screen formatted to a different size. I think they shot it for IMAX. So there's a ton of shots that just look amazing, like just the way they're framed, like everything looks super cool in the desert. But by God, it is the loudest thing I've ever gone to. Like
Oh,
it's like I was sitting there, and there's points where the bass is, like, ripping, but then there's also just, like, it's not just bass, there's, like, mid-tone kind of, you know, building tension noises, and I'm like, "Oh my god," like, you're just getting, like, assaulted, and so many times too, it's like I know I sound so old saying this stuff, but, like, the Fremen, have their underground places where they live. So they're essentially goes from a cave scene to like, oh no, now we're gonna switch to the desert where there's not a cloud in the sky, and you're just gonna be blinded for a good 15 seconds in the movie theaters. But
John's like, "The lighting is killing me."
oh my god, it was loud. Like and like so it was but that all being said, like I think that really added to it and it made it fun. Like it made it like holy crap, like there's a scene I think it's in some of the trailers where the one baron is fighting in like a stadium, and it's a stadium, it probably has like 500,000 people in it. Like, the scale of these movies whenever they show the troops and whatnot,
Yeah.
it's a million people lined up on essentially a tarmac. So this stadium has all these people, they're all chanting, and it is just so loud the entire time. And I'm like, oh man, like this really gets you like amped up for what's going on.
Oh, that's awesome.
So in that scene, I really loved. So see, like I'm so bad with names. What are the bad, like the bad people in this movie? It starts with an H.
I've got no clue because
Oh
that
gosh.
that kinda information never sticks with me when I when I read a novel.
Yeah, it's Um, let's see if I can just find it real quick.
House
Oh,
Harkonnen.
Harkonnen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever they show them, it's very like it's like kind of new. It's like black and white, kind of like it just seems
Yeah.
very muted.
Okay, that I kinda remember from
It
the
is,
the first
yeah. I think they kind of show it
movie.
like when they show like the head Baron in charge, who's like this huge fat guy. He's always in like a black liquid, and his skin's really pale, and the room is like kind of black. This scene though in the, like, stadium, this isn't spoilers or anything, I think it's in the trailer. It is in black and white, and there's a few things where it's like, it's not just a movie choice, I think it's the planet, because these people that normally wear black, they show them, like, walking into essentially their suite, and as they're walking in the suite, their cloak turns white, and then they're sitting down, then they're now wearing white. So I'm like,
Huh.
this is cool. I'm like, this is like such a weird, like, I don't know if that was touched on the book, if they're like, they allude to the world not having color there or something. But I just really loved that this one scene just has no color at all. It's black and white. But
Hmm.
yeah, this movie, if you thought the first movie was boring,
Yeah.
um, to make it worth it, just know that this second movie is coming, because this second movie is there's way more like action in it, and like
Yeah.
like I like this movie, like we kind of thought it, and we did hear somebody else say it behind us, of like it's a little long, it dragged a little bit.
Okay.
I think it's 2 hours and 47 minutes, so
Oh.
yeah, it's up there. And like
Oh, man.
when it gets near the end, um when like the big, payoff is going to start happening, I was sitting there the whole time like, there's no way they're gonna show it. They're gonna cut, and that's gonna be the next part, and it's gonna pick up there for a big action scene. And no, it happens in the movie. Like there's like a big kind of Helm's Deep kind of battle. Some
Oh.
that was my only thing. Like
Oh.
watching it, that's what came to mind. I was like,
Oh.
this is fucking sick.
Okay,
Uh,
so now I have to watch the
yeah,
first
like I
and
hope that that's
try to
not.
catch the second in theaters now.
Yeah,
Oh.
like I hate saying that stuff because like there's gonna be some people who probably sit there and go like, oh great, now I know there's a battle, or like I know, but I'm like, that's the whole point of the movie, is they're trying to get
Yeah,
they're trying to get revenge essentially.
right.
So it yeah, watching this movie and watching just like the story of um like Paul Atreides and like the main character kind of it picks up essentially right where the first movie ends, which was neat too. Like I think it's within days or so of the first movie ending. And yeah, I walked away from this movie like watching the second or the first movie again. I was like, yeah, I could see this movie being a little boring. Like I don't know how I walked away feeling so highly on it, cuz like I remember walking away from the first one being like, "Oh, that was a good movie. Like that was so good." And I'm like, "Man, I wasn't bored at all watching this." Like, and like I don't know, I still really liked it, but like when you said like that was a little boring, like after watching it again, I'm like, "Yeah, no, I can totally." It's a lot of hushed talking, a lot of obviously setting things up for the
Yeah,
future.
but you know what was interesting is that when I read the first book, I never thought that it was boring. So I was just kinda, like, a little bit confused almost. I was like and
So,
and and I guess I fell a little bit victim to, like, what a lot of people do when they really love a book and then
mhm.
it gets turned into a movie is, "Okay, this isn't how I pictured any of this really."
Yeah, you
Um,
didn't picture Timothy Chalamet?
no.
No?
Um, or Zendaya, but that
Oh,
might have
well.
improved the experience. But obviously actually, like, to be honest, the one thing that obviously makes sense that I I pictured correctly was, like, the planet and the sandworms.
Oh, man, the worms are in the second movie a lot,
Yeah,
and, like
I okay, there's certain part of the book that I really love, and I just don't know how much to say on here about it, so, like but I don't know how much you were planning on going into it, but
well,
I
I
do
didn't
wanna
wanna talk.
see I do wanna see, like, the turn that happens that's really exciting because
Well,
there's
here,
like
let's just
a
put we'll put it right now, like, I've already said enough. We're gonna spoil things now, so if you
okay,
wanna go see Dune, it's in theaters. This is new, so this is definitely gonna be spoilers.
for sure.
So but go
Alright,
ahead,
you're
I mean,
entering, the spoiler desert of Dune right now.
there
But
we go, spoiler worms,
there's
ahoy.
isn't there that it's been a while, so it's been at least,
Mhm.
like, 10 years since I read this book.
Okay,
Uh, so that means it's, one of the things that I thought was really cool, and I read, like, a couple essays and stuff about Frank Herbert and, like, the environmental consciousness that Herbert has,
okay.
like, how a lot of these books are centered around that and trying to teach us trying to teach his readers something about that, and I think that's really cool. But the thing I was gonna say is and you're gonna have to tell me if I'm accurate, but is it that, like, Timothy Chalamet, like, learns how to, like, somehow do something with the worms, whether it's ride them or communicate with them, but there's something special that he does to gain those people's trust
Yeah.
and then fight for and with Timothy Chalamet. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's in the
Okay.
movie, and it's one of the loudest and coolest parts.
Oh, so that I would absolutely love to see because
Oh, yeah.
I remember reading the book and it being one of those things where I was like, "I think this is so fucking cool." And I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, man," like, that turn was, like, so well written. I was like, "This is so awesome." And,
Yeah,
like,
it
it's so cool.
is they so that so, I mean, should we just talk about what it is?
Yeah,
Like, what
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, like, cause
So,
yeah, clear it
he
up for
learned
me.
so to, like, his final way of gaining trust is he has to learn and show that he can ride a worm,
Okay.
and I think there's like, we're saying this as if it's a big spoiler. I think in a trailer, they do hype up the fact that he's gonna do it,
Okay.
Like, I think there's a shot of him
Yeah,
with
I
the
think there
ice pick,
is.
like his
Yeah, I think
ice
you're
pick
right.
things.
Yeah.
They don't show him doing it, but they obviously show like this is gonna be a
Yeah.
trial that he has to do. But that scene is rad because it shows kind of like how they control them and things. And there are other scenes in the movies where like they use them as like a bus. Like I also don't know how that works because it doesn't seem like when he's on it, they really can slow him down to a stop. So I'm like, how do all these people get on here? But yeah, like that was like a really cool scene in it. And I think like just the Atreides, like Paul's arc in this movie, like Timothy Chalamet, like his arc in this movie of becoming like the chosen one, kind of
Mhm.
like how he's the person from the outside world who's going to lead them to like revolution essentially and to like greener pastures. It's wild. Like it is. And like his mom in the movie, like I'm not going to really talk about her story arc because I don't want to just sit here and talk about the whole movie.
Yeah.
Um, is nuts. Like her whole thing is crazy. And I mean, where does the first book end?
No, that was something as we were sitting here talking, I actually have no idea. I could see I could easily see these first 2 movies being the first book.
It probably is if I had to guess.
I if I had to guess that, I would say that that's the case too. But now you got geez, how many Dune books do you
There's
have?
isn't there like 6 or more?
Might be.
Because the way the way it ends, I was kind of like, okay, I can see how that's a place to end it,
Yeah,
but I'm
there's
like, there's
6.
gotta be another one coming
Mm,
because I'm like, this seems like there's a lot of story here. And I did see something where I think they are working on a third script. So if they're gonna make the third one, which I don't know if it's confirmed or not, with I haven't checked the box office numbers, but I would imagine it's probably crushing it. So
yeah.
if I had to guess, they probably will make a third one, but oh my god, to think about when that's gonna come out, it's gotta be at least another 2 years probably
Oh
before that even touches theaters again.
oh, yeah. I'm not gonna
Like,
lie, I just found, like, the book set, um, of 6 of the, like, new mass paperbacks that you can, like,
uh
buy all 6 books
that says, like,
from.
now a hit feature film on him.
No, it doesn't even say that, but they I don't usually like paperbacks. These look these look really, really cool. Like, that's sharp.
It is killing me. Why did they do that to the to that second book?
I don't know.
I do like the
What are you
Dune
talking
thing.
about?
What do you mean, what am I talking
Oh,
about?
the Messiah.
What
Oh,
do you
no.
mean?
It mustn't there's
And
no
why
way
is that
because the children of Dune fits. So why did you have to do that with Messiah?
and
Because
what
it's
they're all at
below it?
different heights too. The D's all start at different heights.
Oh, you know what? It still looks good to me on the
No,
shelf, but
it
you're
looks
right,
good.
that second book. Oh, you're so right.
Um, yeah, I really liked, but just to get back to the movie, like I said, for anyone who tried to watch the first one and thought it was a little slow or a little boring, power through just so you can get to this second movie. Like, I
Mm,
don't want to oversell it so much because sometimes sci-fi just isn't someone's cup of tea, and they might put
that's true.
this second movie on and be like, "This isn't good either."
I think
But
a lot of people tried to although I might sort of agree, there are some people out there that called it, like, Game of Thrones in space.
it
Um,
yeah, kind of like
kinda, sort
it's
of.
got all the different houses and
Yeah.
like yeah, yeah, if you can see it in theaters too, I would really recommend going to see it in like that Dolby Cinema or IMAX. I mean,
Yeah.
any big screen is going to be awesome, but
Well, John, there you talked about, like, the IMAX, you talked about, like, how the brightness of it, the audio visual, but I have to ask you, John, how were the snacks?
Oh my god, yeah, those popcorn buckets are not good. I don't know who thought of those. Oh boy.
Oh, wow.
If you haven't seen it, it is the mouth of one of the worms that looks like you would not you would put something other than your hand into. Like,
And
it is.
John picked up 5.
Oh, yeah, gotta have. No, they're weird looking.
That's some weird stuff, some
Oh,
weird marketing, but every guy was like, "Huh? What?"
yeah, those are not good. Um, that did actually just remind me, we always touch on it sometimes if we don't have something else to say, but it is, the score of the movie. I think it
Uh-huh.
just won an Academy Award. Um,
Oh, dang.
I
Didn't know
yeah,
that.
I think because I think the Oscars were what, last week?
Mhm.
And I think this one won for its score. There's
Oh,
times
nice.
there's times I feel like recently in movies when, like, they just want, like, a soft tone, they'll have, like, a keyboard tone kind of a thing going or something, like, it's just that n like, a kinda steady note that's
Sure.
going. This, you could tell it was a saxophone. At least to me, it sounded like if they pan the camera over, Kenny G would just be standing there
Oh, that's
really
cool, though.
drawing out some notes, and I was like, I picked up on it a few times, which I was like, I think it's because it's the desert. Like, you're staring at 2 people framed beautifully, but, like, you have to take in the music. It's not like there's a bunch of stuff happening all at once. Like, you're sitting there
Right.
taking everything in, and I just really liked it. I don't know, I'm really it left me really wanting more of it, and,
Nice.
and if you really wanna get prepped for it, you could do what we did and watch the first one, and then literally it's on HBO, Max. You can just click right out of it and go watch Wonka right afterwards and see a stark difference in Timothy Chalamet. It was jarring to
Oh,
see him
that's
go
so
and be
funny.
Wonka. But, yeah, uh, I mean, that's all I really have to say. I don't really wanna talk about the story or anything too much and
Yeah, yeah.
dive into it. It's too new to be doing that,
I
but
mean, it's the cast is ginormous, like,
oh,
it's
yeah.
huge, Stellan Skarsgård in that, like,
Yeah, he's
in that
amazing in it.
suit is, like it's, like, nuts to see him in that. But the fact that they got, like, Javier Bardem and, like, Josh
He's
Brolin at the same time, I'm like, those guys are, like, too badass to be in the same room together.
Yeah, and then
Like,
also, like, I feel
Dave
like this
Bautista,
dude is gonna be, Austin Butler is gonna be, like,
he was Elvis, right?
A-lister
And
for a while. Yeah,
yeah.
but he is I mean, he's in
Handsome?
a lot now. Well, yeah, he's creepy in this movie, but yeah, he's in that new, I wanna watch it's like a new show on Apple TV, like Masters of the Air. It's like a World War One or World
Oh,
War
that's
Two.
right. Made by the same people who made, oh, um, it's killing me a little bit inside that I'm drawing a blank on this.
Band of Brothers.
Yes, thank you. Which and the
Great
other one.
show.
What was the other one?
Oh,
It was the second Pacific
The Pacific?
The Pacific. I loved those shows. Oh god, those were so good. Um,
Yeah,
so
he was great in it, like,
stoked.
I think he's got a hell of a career coming because yeah, Elvis, he was great in, but yeah, like this cast is great. Um, Javier Bardem, like you said, he's got a couple funny parts in this movie too. Um, yeah, the cast knocked it out of the park in this movie. Like 100% recommend from me for this
That's
one.
awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Uh, so we didn't give our classic ratings, John, but did you have like can you think of anything that you would give this movie? It doesn't have to be all 3, but
Oh, I did have I think I had a food. Um, I think I said Dune in IMAX was like really spicy ramen because it's like ramen's very good. Usually you leave the table, you leave the restaurant being saying that it was like really good, but while you're eating really spicy ramen, it is really intense and it's jarring to all your senses. And that was like the first thing that came to mind. I'm like, that's pretty good. But that's kind of what I came up with
I
for
like
Dune
it.
Part 2.
I like it. I
Yeah,
like
I
it.
do you have any ratings for
I was trying to think of, like, I got something. I got yeah, I do have something for
okay.
you.
This is gonna be some like golfer from the '60s or something.
No, it's not a golfer from the '60s, but I'll say, it Pokemon is the Pokemon Horizon series is, like, good. It's good. It's, like, light and fluffy. Some might
Uh,
say that it's like a meringue cake.
oh la
Um,
la.
or
Yeah.
if you so prefer, a Pokemon called Alcremie,
Oh
which is
god.
just a whipped cream Pokemon.
They got real lazy there for a bit.
Oh,
The
they were just like, what have we done yet? Someone look in the fridge."
we did a keychain, we did a chandelier. I guess we'll have to do we'll
They
have
were
to do
just
a
looking
blob of whipped cream
they were
next.
just looking around the room. They were like,
Yeah.
"Anybody got anything?" Be like, ceiling fan? Do we
Like,
have a
I gotta do
ceiling
some
fan yet?"
research. They're like, "Bud, we're on Pokemon 912. Make up whatever you want."
Yeah, it's
Oh my gosh.
so I guess I'll go with that.
All right.
That's been the very first episode of the Screened In podcast that's actually coming to you in 3D on your screen right now. Um, I'm gonna guess that my goal is to put this up on the YouTubes
Yeah.
for individuals to see. Um, but
We'll figure that out.
we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
It is what it is right now. Um, But yeah, so that's been our very first visual show of the Screened In podcast, and, God knows how many episodes in.
I
Um,
think we're in the 60s, I think. I don't know what it is, 63, 64.
sure, let's go with that.
Yeah.
Episode 64. So you can find us on all of the socials, maybe not TikTok anymore, who knows? The Senate
Oh
doesn't like it
gosh.
very much. But, Instagram, we have a Discord as well that you can join. You just gotta let us DM us, and we'll give you the invite for that. Um, you can check us out. We're pretty much doing shows, almost weekly. We
Yeah.
we took a few weeks off
Yeah.
here and
We've had a
there, and
couple rough patches recently, but
but,
we if you don't see us weekly, know that we are working on it. We are recording. We don't plan on ending it or anything like that. It's just
no,
sometimes our schedules don't line up
yep,
and we want to keep this something that is fun. And like we had some stuff going on and we were like, hey, you know what? Let's just hold off. Like, let's not make it a chore to record. Like, let's keep it fun, do it when we can. And like I said, it's almost weekly. So
almost weekly.
that just means you
That's
have to subscribe so you
from
know when the turn on that bell so you know when our episodes come
from
out.
now on, that's what we'll have to call it, is almost
Yeah.
weekly. Um, yeah, and I had a bout of cholera early this week.
Oh, great. Oh, just a small bit
Very
of the plague.
feeling very sick yesterday. I've had a very quick turnaround in 24 hours. This time last night was not good.
Oh
So,
boy.
I was surprised I wasn't coming on here and, like, sweat was coming down my face, but it doesn't even sound like I was sick yesterday, honestly. But that's been an episode of the Screened In podcast. We, will see you again next time. Adios, everybody.
See you later.